than just like, you know.
I ask you this, which way to go? I ask you this, which sin to bear? Which crown to put upon my hair? I do not know, Lord God, I do not know. I ask you this, which way to go? I ask you this, which sin to bear? Which crown to put upon my hair? I do not know, Lord God, I do not know.
Thank you so much for that beautiful music to start us off.
For you eagle-eyed program readers, I am not Jen, and we're all the worse off for it. She is not feeling well today, so I am filling in. It is a joy to welcome all of you friends and soon-to-be friends into a community that has been near and dear to me since I first attended January of last year with my now wife. It is a community that turns to face injustice wherever we see it and works really hard through 1,000 groups to be able to better the world around us. And if today marks your 50th year coming here or your first day coming here, know that you are in a place that is absolutely looking to meet your needs and to find you a place where you can interact with the world and grow a community that is strong. I have some announcements for everybody. As always, we have things going on. In Fellowship Hall, right after this, we have melt ice hat making. There's lunch served as well, which gives you an opportunity to flex your creative side. I am part of the Rising Adult group, and as such, we have an activity down in the activity room after service where we're going to be playing board games. I brought a bunch. I brought my favorites, so I look forward to seeing you all there. I also want to remind everyone that after service, the Fellowship Hall is not only for the melt ice, it is often just for coffee and conversation, but if you prefer a quieter space and that feels a bit overwhelming to you, we have a welcome room. So you can go all the way down the hallway to your right when you leave the sanctuary and look for the welcome mat. So one of our Sunday ambassadors are going to be there for you. One of the things that I want to talk about today is we are in full swing of the season for the board search. And as such, we have our nominating committee potentially going around and asking you all questions about what your availability is and telling you a little bit about information. So I was asked to share a little bit of my experience. I have, not only am I a part of the RAG leadership group, but I am a part of, I have the honor to be serving as your board secretary right now. It has been lovely. My experience in the church has offered me support, everything from encouraging me to finally finish the first chapter of a book I'm going to be writing over the next 20 years. And everything from that to the trenches of being in a job search that I know so many of you are in with me. It is beautiful to have community, and my wife and I have benefited enormously. In fact, I just got last night approval from her. She's at home resting and watching. Got approval from her to let the church congregation know that we are expecting a baby in July of this year, which is incredibly exciting. I'm going to be relying on the community a little bit as I move forward in my life. And it's a joy to know that I can rely on the community, and I also know at my core that if none of us decided to step up and try to engage with the mechanics of church leadership and trying to help run groups and to really contribute our time, talent, and treasures, that we cannot expect this to exist for the next generation. It simply has to be our work that creates something strong for the next generation. And I have enjoyed so much being a part of the board and seeing some of the mechanics of the decisions on how to administer everybody's time, talent, treasure, the direction that we want to take the church. It's a beautiful way to give back to the community and really offer your support to building this up for the next generation, which I'm telling you I would appreciate so much. So I would love to turn it over to the nominating committee in general, Jess specifically, to tell you a little bit more about what that looks like. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Seth. Can we give him a round of applause for a great pitch? We'd really appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica Werder. Most people know me by Jess. And as Seth mentioned, I'm a member of the UUCA nominating committee this year, along with my colleagues, Barbara, Lachlan here behind the sign, and we have with us today as well Julie Wieland and Valerie Shelton. If you guys could just stand up and let folks know. In addition, for folks who may know them, Greg Miller and Kirsten Jacobson are also a part of the nominating committee this year. As Seth mentioned, the nominating committee's charge this year is to help the church identify and nominate this year 4 members of the Board of Trustees, including a treasurer, and 1 member of our own committee for next year, the nominating committee. We're also working to identify UUA General Assembly delegates and attendees, this year primarily online, with optional days in Louisville, Kentucky. We'd love for you to come talk to us in the back at the table at the end of service and to just approach us generally if you have any interest in exploring one of those roles within the church. We would be interested in hearing if you know about interest from yourself or from someone else you would recommend who is a friend and you think could do well in church leadership. And please don't wait. We're trying to accomplish this goal by the end of March. So thank you.
Thank you so much to the nominating committee. Thank you, Jess and Barbara and Julie and Valerie. Thank you, Seth. And congratulations, Seth and Jana. We're so excited. I'm Reverend Amanda Poppy. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm honored to serve as senior minister here at UUCA. My co-conspirator, the Reverend Carol Thomas Sissel, our Minister of Social Justice and Community Development, is off this Sunday, but of course I'm sure sends greetings. Hopefully, actually, she doesn't. She's relaxing somewhere on a Sunday off. And I'm so excited that I'm therefore joined by 3 UUCA members up on the chancel. Gay Chima, who was once one of our worship associates, is joining in that role and also sharing a reflection, and she'll be joined by Pat Findicaloo and by Brenda Shelton in offering reflection. So you'll hear from them later in the service. I'm also so grateful for David Mann, our director of music, and our guest, Devin, who is offering music this morning, which you can see we have already been blessed by. And I am grateful for all of you, for those of you who are volunteering and working with our children and washing our cups, and who are simply here on this rainy, icky morning. Great job getting out before we're going to not want to get out in a few hours, I think. And that together, gathering in this space and also online, we are creating church together. We are the church that we seek to be and are always still yet becoming. And it is good to worship together. If you are online, I invite you to say hello in the chat so everybody knows you're not alone out there. If you are here in the sanctuary, will you turn toward each other and say hello this morning? Good morning, friends. As we take our seats, I invite you to continue that connection in our coffee hour, which follows our service. It is good to be together. Just as David was winding down the music, I could see a couple of you who were getting ready to head over to the next section for your whole new set of good mornings. So I'm so grateful for the spirit of connection and the spirit of love that unites this congregation. I want to offer a call to worship that comes from a favorite book of mine. I think a couple weeks ago I did a book suggestion in worship, and this one is another. This is by Unitarian Universalist minister Kristen L. Harper, and it's called The Darkness Divine, A Loving Challenge to My Faith. And it's a series of essays about Unitarian Universalism, particularly from Reverend Harper's perspective as a Black woman in the ministry. And it also includes a series of poems that she's written, so it's kind of interspersed with poetry, essays, and reflection questions. I have shared this one before, and I think I was one of the ones that I got many requests for after, so I offer it to you in that way, particularly inspired by the prayer that opened our service in musical form this morning. This is titled The 23rd Psalm Revisited. Love is my shepherd, I shall not want. Love embraces all of me in her green pastures. Love cradles me in her still waters. Love restores my soul. Love compels me toward justice for the world's sake. Even though I walk through life with death ever before me, I fear it not, for I walk not alone. Love is with me. Her deep roots and dark wings, they comfort me. Love brings me to the table in the presence of those with whom I am at discord. Her rich brown hands bless me with the oil of compassion. My heart overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the arms of love my whole life long. Amen. May that prayer and may that spirit of love surround us as we worship together this morning.
Let us light our candle of compassion. Today, we remember especially those who have been unjustly treated, those without proper shelter or food, those devastated by natural disasters, those who've lost their way, and those fatigued by the long fight for justice. May we continue to act with compassion. Now please join me and Reverend Amanda, or should I say Reverend Amanda and me, as we light our chalice. The words are in your order of service. We gather together as a community of memory and hope to celebrate life and its infinite possibilities for love.
We light this chalice as a symbol of the light within every human heart. May our individual sparks meet and merge, bringing both light and warmth to the world. I invite you now to rise in body or in spirit and join in singing our opening hymn. It is printed in your order of service, and Devin will lead us as we sing.
Planted by the water, we shall not be moved. We're fighting for our freedom, we shall not be moved. We're fighting for our freedom, we shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water, we shall not be moved. We're fighting for our children, we shall not be shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Verse 1. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
I would like to invite our younger folks, if you would like to come and join me up here. Come on and have a seat on the rug. And I am going to need some volunteers to be human mirrors for me. I'm going to need you to act like you're a human mirror. Okay, all right, so this is good. I've got some volunteers. Hang on just 1 second. Let me get myself ready for our story here. Okay, all right, great. Okay. So, let's see. I wonder if some of you could tell me something. Come on up. And I'm wondering if you could say to me, if it feels accurate, you have something on your face. Is there anything?
Yeah, right here.
Okay, just tell me. I have something.
Lipstick.
It's lipstick. Oh, I'm getting a lot of information. Just say you have something on your face. Oh, no, I don't have anything on my face. Thank you. Thanks. You're all set. Next person to try that for me? Yeah, Shasha, come on up. Just tell me.
You have something right here.
What are you talking about?
You have a little bit.
You're wrong. I'm not going to listen to you. Thank you, Shasha. Yeah, come on up. Yeah. Anything? Oh, you don't want to tell me? Oh, yeah, that's fair. Actually, this is a part of the lesson I did not anticipate, but that's fair. You don't want to tell me, right? Because I don't believe people anyway. Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you. That is really great. Anybody willing to be brave enough to tell me a couple more times? Let's see.
Okay, better listen to me. You have something on your face and you need to get it off.
Well, that's funny because I think that you're the one who has something on your face, so you can just, yep. And right here, yeah, Penelope,
You have
Anything?
something on your face.
You must be joking. I am an expert face washer. I have studied face washing for years. It is not possible. Thank you. You can sit down. One more. Yeah, what do you got?
You have something on your cheek.
Something on my cheek. I like the specificity. However, how dare you tell me I have something on my face? No way. Let's see. One more. Yeah, let's see. What do we got?
If you don't listen to me, then I'll get a mirror.
Oh, if you don't listen to me, I'll get a mirror. Oh, well, I don't want to look in a mirror. Absolutely. No way. No way. Okay, one more time. Just tell me I have something on my face. Can you do it?
You have something red.
I have something red on my face.
It's lipstick.
I have something on my face?
Yes, everyone's been trying to tell you that.
Thank you for telling me. I've been washing it away little by little, but I guess some of it is stickier than I thought it was. I appreciate you letting me know, and you.
It looks like lipstick.
It looks like lipstick. Yeah, would you be able to help me get rid of this thing that's on my face? I think I brought something here. Maybe someone can get a wipe out for me so that I can take care of that. Yeah, okay, great. Thank you so much. Now, I am wondering, when we are in community together and we think about being Unitarian Universalists, which of my responses do you think was the best one when people tried to tell me what was on my face? What do you think? The very last one, the one where I said, oh my gosh, thanks for telling me. Now we're gonna see if these makeup wipes work. Is it still there? It's over here. Okay, great. That's great. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's right. So sometimes there are things that we don't see about ourselves, and we need other people to help us understand them. And when we're in community, when someone tries to help us understand them, our best response is to say, thank you, tell me more, help me to understand. And we learned that if we don't do that, sometimes people stop even telling us, right? That was really fair. So thank you all for playing with me a little bit there. I hope you know that in real life, I would always want you to tell me if I have something on my face, and then I would try to go fix it right away. And I want to, before you go, I just want to acknowledge some folks who at UUCA have been getting ready to help the community as a whole think about the things that we might have on our face, or just our internal biases, our ways of understanding the world, and helping us to do the kind of anti-racism and anti-oppression work that helps us all to feel included in community and to work for justice out in the world. And so I want to ask our Mosaic facilitators, those of you who have been trained to become Mosaic facilitators, which is a 5-hour online training, to stand now. Some of you are going to stand up. Up we go, there we go. Some of these folks are going to be teaching in our, yeah, definitely give them a hand. Some of these folks are going to be teaching in our children's classes. Some are going to be teaching adult education classes. Some of them have already taught some of those Mosaic early hour classes. You may have been to those this morning or last morning. And I want to let you know that there is a Train Together event. If you would like to become a Mosaic facilitator, Mosaic is the Unitarian Universalist Association's new anti-racism, anti-oppression curriculum. If you would like to become a facilitator, we've got an event on Saturday, March 21st. You can come and do that online training, but do it in community with each other, so you're not sitting at home staring at your computer screen, but you're getting to be in conversation together as we all work together to understand ourselves and each other more deeply. So we have actually now a number of Mosaic facilitators: Bert Kapler, Ashley Johnson, Melissa Neuweiser, Val Bryant, Rachel Burnett, Elizabeth Vanderputten, Emily Abraham, Nikita, Natasha Vindangos, Rachel Trumpsteele, and Ann Almschneider are all trained. So let's give them all a big round of applause. And is it done, Shasha? Okay, thank goodness. And then I'm going to invite our kids to head off to their classes. Can we make an arch for them to go through in the middle there as we sing them on their way?
Peace to you on your way. May you grow in love each day, meeting new friends and opening your mind to the wonders of the world you will find, to the wonders of the world you will find.
I am going to spend the rest of the morning wondering if I got all the lipstick off my cheek. But I am grateful for our children and their many ways of trying to tell me what was happening. Here at church, we bring all of what is happening for us, the things we are trying to figure out in our lives, the ways we are trying to learn and grow, the places where we need to be pushed and challenged, and also the places where we need to be held, the places where we need to simply sit in community and know that we are not alone. And so I want to invite you in this time of prayer and meditation, this time of centering, to just take a breath. Close your eyes if that's comfortable, or soften your gaze. Breathe your body into this space. Breathe your body into the seat that holds you, the floor beneath you. As you continue to breathe, just notice what it is to be not alone. Perhaps you came in with someone and you are sitting close enough to them that you can feel their body next to yours. Not alone. Perhaps you can tell that just a little ways down the pew, another person is breathing and centering. Not alone. Perhaps you can hear the noises of community gathered, the shifts and sounds. Not alone. Perhaps you can imagine our children in their classrooms, getting themselves ready for their time together. Not alone. Perhaps you can cast your heart to those who are watching online from their homes. Not alone. And perhaps your heart can open even wide enough to hold our neighbors, our community, our country, our world, the very stars that surround us. Not alone. Spirit of life and love, help us to remember we are not alone. Amen.
Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí, ya corazón, cántale tu compasión, sopla sobre la mar, hasta molear la justicia de la vida. Arraigame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Whose holy clothes, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Friends, as the beauty of Spirit of Life, Fuente de Amor, resonates in our space, and before Gay invites you into generosity, I am here because I forgot before the prayer to invite us to hold in our hearts some we have lost in this congregation in the weeks past. All of these have been shared in our Wheel of Life as part of our Connections email and are printed now the week after in our order of service so that you can continue to feel connected and aware of both the losses and also the celebrations and the joys of this community. We have named a number of these folks and held them in our hearts in service. And I want to simply name out loud in particular Carolyn Menk, who was for many years the parish nurse here at UUCA and who held small groups and caring groups for new mothers and other identities, and also took people's blood pressure during coffee hour and offered the kind of care you might expect from a retired nurse who found her next calling within this congregation. I had the pleasure to speak with Carolyn's children, two of Carolyn's children, this past week, and was grateful for that connection, and the family is considering their plans for service. But I wanted to name Carolyn in this space and invite you to hold her in your heart and her long and beautiful life of service, really. Thank you. Okay, thanks.
Now, let's put our faith into action. This week, 30% of our offering goes to 30% goes to the ongoing mission of the church, and 70% to Little Friends for Peace, who've sponsored an extraordinary peace camp right here at UUCA for many years now. I'm sure many of you know PJ and are aware that lots of our kids have gone to the camp and have really benefited from it. I can't think of anything more important at this particular historical moment than teaching our next generation the tools to forge peace. There are many ways to give: through cash, through a check, through the QR code on your order of service, or the donate button on our UUCA website, those of you who are watching from home. Your generous gifts will now gratefully be received. Ushers, please come forward.
If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody they are traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. Oh, my living shall not be in vain. If I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. If I can do my duty as a good man ought, if I can bring back beauty to a world abroad, if I can spread love's message that the Master taught, then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. Oh, my living shall not be in vain. If I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain.
Thank you so much, Devin and David, for helping us this morning. You shall not live in vain. Ushers, please come forward. Please help me voice our gratitude for these, your gifts. The words are in your order of service. We bless and receive these gifts, opening our hearts to true generosity. Let us be grateful when we give, be it time, talent, or treasure. Let us be grateful when our needs and the experience of vulnerability. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts to nurture this congregation. Thank you.
Our reading this morning comes from the Reverend Dr. Pauli Murray. It was written in 1970. You may know about Reverend Dr. Pauli Murray because she was, or they were the subject of a sermon last year. Reverend Dr. Murray was Black, queer, gender expansive, used she pronouns in their lifetime mostly, and pronouns that biographers use change between them depending on sort of interpretation of Pauli's most significant internal experience. So I hold the complexity of that history. And an Episcopalian priest, as well as a poet. This poem is titled Dark Testament, verse 8. Hope is a crushed stalk between clenched fingers. Hope is a bird's wing broken by a stone. Hope is a word in a tuneless ditty, a word whispered with the wind, a dream of 40 acres and a mule, a cabin of one's own and a moment to rest, a name and place for one's children and children's children at last. Hope is a song in a weary throat. Give me a song of hope and a world where I can sing it. Give me a song of faith and a people to believe it. Give me a song of kindliness and a country where I can live it. Give me a song of hope and love and a brown girl's heart to hear it. The words of the Reverend Dr. Pauli Murray. I'm always so delighted when I manage to concoct an idea where we're going to hear really beautiful wisdom and reflections. And afterward, people will come and tell me how much they liked the service, and the truth is, I just made good invitations. And that's what's, I think, going to happen for us this morning as we hear from 3 UUCA members who have been involved in 2 different groups, book groups, both of the groups studying the work of Black writers, one of them concentrating on early African American women writers, and one of them looking at the work of Black writers more generally. I knew when I started at UUCA, about the existence of these groups. I came in and got sort of a list of all of the various groups that were meeting, book groups and covenant groups and identity groups and social justice groups. And at a congregation, groups like that come and go, right? People meet for a little while and do one training, and that's interesting, and then they move on, or they're in a small group for a year or 2, and then they move forward. And as I went through our list of programming over the years of serving here, I noticed that these groups did not move on, and nor did the folks that were in them. New folks joined sometimes, but what I noticed was that these were groups of people who had a longevity of commitment to the work they were doing, the reading they were engaging in, and to each other, and to showing up for and with each other, and that their relationships were deepened. And I think that their understanding was changed over time. As we were acknowledging our Mosaic facilitators and thinking about this new anti-racism and anti-oppression curriculum that we're engaging with, and I've been thinking about all of the different anti-racism and anti-oppression curricula that UUCA has engaged with over the years, long before I got here or RevCTC got here. And I thought about the longevity of commitment and what that does for us. The kind of practice of showing up again and again, and especially for those of us who, like me, identify as white, the practice of centering non-white voices, of centering voices of people of color over and over, and the kind of learning that is possible only with that time. So we're going to hear from 3 of the folks in those groups a little bit about what that practice has meant for them. And to ground us and start us, we're going to hear from Pat Findicaloo, who is in that more general group looking at the work of Black writers. Thank you, Pat.
I'm so glad to be alive right now, because there are so many great books by African Americans being published. In high school, I wondered about poverty, the haves, the have-nots, why? And race was slipping into my wondering. Eleanor sat in front of me during homeroom, and we talked every night, every day. She was nice, and she seemed smart, but why did I only see her during homeroom? Eventually, I figured out all the Black kids were steered to business courses, while the college prep classes were all white. The football team had Black players, but only white kids ran for office. Why? So I figured majoring in sociology would show me how the US came to have so much poverty and how race fit into the picture. At GW, we white students wanted to help, so we tutored in public housing in DC. But we did not understand our white people's role in the disparity between our lives and the low-income Black kids we tutored. At this time, a lot of academics were trying to explain poverty. We read the famous Moynihan report. Maybe some of you read that. But the writers seemed to be blaming the victims, accusing Black men of deserting their families. Meanwhile, Martin Luther King was exposing voter suppression and segregation. But, in class, I really don't remember having deep discussions about Reconstruction or Jim Crow or lynchings or the Oklahoma massacre. Maybe a little talk on gentrification of the black neighborhoods, but no deep dive into racist land use policies or predatory lending. And we also didn't have the vocabulary. Words like white supremacy or white privilege, even racism, weren't commonly used then. And we did not have the truth about American history. With the murder of King and DC rioting and the Black Power movement growing, the black social workers at the clinic where I worked were very upset. All our clients were black, and all the high administrators were white. There didn't seem to be a role for me at this time, so I decided to leave the US for a while. And it's almost embarrassing to say, but I had this naive belief that young black activists would straighten out our clinic and maybe even get the whole country on track. I didn't understand the depth of the race problem. I joined the Peace Corps and I was given a book locker. And this was literally a cardboard locker that could fit under a bed, and it opened up and it had 100 or 200 books in it. So with my head spinning every night from communicating in a new language, I not only found refuge in books, but I was getting answers to some of my questions. I thank you to whoever chose those books, because I read James Baldwin, The Fire's Next Time, and Go Tell It to the Mountain, on the Mountain. I read the autobiography of Malcolm X, Soul on Ice by Eldridge Cleaver, The Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. So far from home, black authors were giving me new insights into my own country's history. And eventually, the relationship between racism and poverty was no longer a mystery to me. It's quite clear how we got to this point in time. So I kept reading, and then 8 years ago, the UUCA African American Authors Book Circle was formed. What a blessing. So we moved from works that unpack the past, like the 1619 Project by Hannah Cole Jones, or Ibram X. Kendi's Stamp from the Beginning, to books shining light on individual lives like Sing Unburied Sing by Jasmine Ward, or A Mercy, oh my God, that book is so good, by Toni Morrison, or The Nickel Boys by Colson White. That will break your heart. We are stunned by the eerily prophetic science fiction of Octavia Butler, and we're taught to find joy through the essays of Ross Gay. Perhaps you've read the new version of Huckleberry Finn. Anybody read that? So in James, Purcell Everett gives us a black man's insight to that time and into Jim's mind, while exposing misconstrued ideas of Mark Twain. Our list of books read is long. Anne tells me it's more than 100. But I'm most proud that our book circle participants don't just read and learn. We're in relationship, we're inspired, and we regularly stand up for justice and equity in the community. So I thank you, African American authors.
Thank you, Pat, for that insight and sharing. It is notable and no surprise that Pat, along with Ann Umschneider, are some of our leaders with Voice, the community organizing body that works for affordable housing and against racist systems and structures in Arlington County and beyond. And Ann, I believe, is a member of both of the book groups that we're talking about today. I think you can hear in Pat's words some of the unfolding learning that was possible, as I can imagine you opening up the top of that book locker and moving through a journey of your own understanding. In some ways, an unlearning, as well as a learning for those of us raised white in this country, as we understand more deeply the systems and structures in the United States. Michelle Jackson, in writing about the importance of Black writers, said this: "True stories about the Black experience in America threaten the unsteady pillars of democracy. Stories riddled with centuries of slavery, discrimination, and racism hold an unrelenting grip on the American legacy. Yet Black Americans withstood hatred in its most revealing form, and this is the story many white Americans long to omit from history." In this moment when our democracy is threatened, it seems to me particularly important for us to look at what that democracy has been with as much honesty as possible, and also to learn from the resilience of those working within a deeply flawed system. And so I want to invite us then to move to the next group of folks offering reflections from the more specific early American Black women writers. And I'd say both of these groups invite other folks to join them still. They can come and join, right? I'm looking at folks. Yes, they're nodding. Okay, great. You're welcome. The Reverend Dr. Polly Murray's words were among those that this particular group has engaged in. And again, I think you'll hear from both Brenda and from Gay the experience of deepened relationship through the reading and learning that they've engaged in together. Brenda Shelton will offer a reflection next.
Good morning. I became a UU in Connecticut over 40 years ago. And over these years, I have participated in various groups discussing race relations in the United States. But the group I belong to here at UUCA, called the Early American to 21st Century Black Women Writers, has been a very different kind of group in a very meaningful way. Our UUCA group is not a concentration of history, though history is obviously integral to the time and place of our subject writers. Our group was formed organically by one interested woman who thought it might be a good idea to share her knowledge, and offered to facilitate 2 sessions. And 9 years later, and 80 Black women writers, here we are today. That amazingly giving, lovable woman is, ta-da, Gay Sina. Who I now regard as a trusted friend. And by the way, it does matter who the facilitator is, regardless of the subject matter. When I tell my family and friends how much I've enjoyed being a member of the Black Women Writers Group, they always ask me, well, how many Black women are in the group? And when I say me and one other, they are very confused. And I have to explain to them that we read materials written by Black women, not the group being a group of Black women, and then they understand. Because of this group, I have been exposed to the remarkable courage and talent of Black women that I had never heard of before. Black women, some free before the Civil War, some runaway slaves, and others freed after the Civil War. These women wrote poetry, novels, plays, essays, for magazines and newspapers. They lectured in the United States and abroad against overwhelming odds, constantly holding a mirror up to their listeners and readers about the uncomfortable truths of this country, the country's hypocrisy, cruelty, immorality, and anti-Christian laws regarding slavery, lynching, Jim Crow, sexism, etc. They dared to speak the unspeakable, knowing women were supposed to be quiet, and being Black women, they were, of course, doubly ridiculed, but they didn't care. I loved being in the presence of these women, knowing they were the early trailblazers in the fight for freedom and justice, though the fight is never ending. But it also made me angry that I was just discovering these women. But at least now I know how to find them on my own. Lastly, I found a close-knit, intimate group of women that I could call friends. The women in the Black Women Writers Group are the people I feel closest to at UUCA. We have discovered these remarkable Black women together. We admire them, and in the process, we have come to know each other and ourselves much better. It has been a wonderful journey of discovery, and we're most assuredly that beloved community. And one last thing I'd like to say is, for the African American group that you're reading, I hope you read my daughter's new novel. Thank you. Inharmonious by Tammy Hoof. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brenda. I want to just plug onto that. Tammy has agreed to come and join us in our April gathering of the Black Women Writers Group. So see me after the service if you want to come and join, huh? Or you can just look in the calendar. I'm sorry, that's a plug. And I also want to name Anne as a co-founder of the larger entity group. Anne has been an extraordinary leader within this movement, within the church. So it was 1978, and I wedged my way into a very crowded conference room, just stuffed with fellow English professors, to hear Bell Hooks, a prominent Black scholar, declare, "I'm tired of white women saying they don't know much about Black literature. Why don't you learn?" So I started reading Black women's literature more intentionally with my students. For me, it really is a sacred opportunity to grow in spirit as well as in knowledge. And when I retired, I banded together with like-minded folks here at UUCA, and we formed the Early American to 21st Century Black Women Writers Group. We take turns researching Black women's lives and their writings, and then we share what we found with each other in monthly meetings. First we met in person, and now we're interspersed. We're dispersed all over the United States. We've built a real circle of trust. Toni Morrison's character, Sixo, describes how I feel about my fellow travelers. "She gather me, man. The pieces I am, she gather me and give them back to me in all the right order." It's good, you know, when you got a woman who's a friend of your mind. I revere our safe place, where we center Black voices, because the writers and my friends of the mind inspire me to transform my very idea of who I am where I come from, what I want to do. As playwright Intasake Shenge explains, you don't know what you're giving if you don't know what you have. And you don't know what you're taking if you don't know what's yours and what's somebody else's. So I'm learning. I'm learning about the wildly disparate voices of Black women from the 1740s to the present, but I'm also practicing. I'm practicing being aware of what's mine and what's somebody else's. Unlearning privilege within a joyful, lively, and rambunctious community. You are so welcome to join us. This spiritual practice widens my understanding of everybody's lives, fuels my anti-racism, and unveils American history as repetition. When I read Ida B. Wells's 1900 speech, I hear a preview of my nightly news. Our country's national crime, Wells explains, is lynching. It is not the creature of an hour, the sudden outburst of uncontrolled fury, or the unspeakable brutality of an insane mob. It represents the cool, calculating deliberation of intelligent people who openly avow that there is an unwritten law that justifies them in putting human beings to death without complaint under oath, without trial by jury, without opportunity to make defense, and without right of appeal. This sense of déjà vu steals me. It gives me courage. As Maya Angelou explains, there was someone else before me who paid for me. My responsibility is to prepare myself so that I can pay for someone else who is yet to come. Thank you.
When I think about church, I think about long practice of learning and growing, of building relationship, of opening our hearts, and of seeking justice with all we know now. This sounds like church to me. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and share our closing hymn. It is number 95 in your gray hymnal. There is more love somewhere.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. joy somewhere.
Please join me as we make our parting promise to one another. The words are in your order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light and warmth it represents. These we carry with us, bringing our sparks of love to the world.
There is more love somewhere, and it is our long dedication to find it. May just a little appear for you this week. Amen. Come with me.
I know what the caged bird feels, alas, when the sun is bright on the upland slopes, when the wind stirs soft through the springing grass, and the river flows like a stream of glass. When the first bird sings and the first bud opes, and the faint perfume from its chalice steals, I know what the caged bird feels. I know why the caged bird beats his wing till the blood is red on the cruel bars, for he must fly back to his perch and cling when he fain would be on the bower swing, and the pain still throbs in the old scars. And they pulse again with a keener sting. I know why he beats his wing. I know why the caged bird sings. Ah me, when his wing is bruised and his bosom sore, when he beats his bars and he would be free. It is not a carol of joy or glee, but a prayer that he sends from his heart's deep core. But a plea that upward to heaven he flings. I know why the caged bird sings.